2, 3. Hello, and welcome to Know Thy Shelves. I'm Rachel.
I'm Michelle. I'm so excited to talk about this book. Sorry. I'm like, come on. Sorry. I won't chill out. Back to you.
Okay. Did you read anything else this week?
No.
No.
No, I, even after, like, finishing that, I was like, I can't at the moment. Did you?
Yes.
Okay.
I finished 2 things, Outlander being one of them, which I'd been reading
Right.
for a while.
Yeah.
It was good. It was Outlander, so.
How far into it did it go? Like, because the book's fairly large, right?
Yes. So the first season is the first book, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, wow. Because I've seen
And
up
then
to,
it goes
like,
from
season
there.
3, so... Woo! Look at what shit happens in season 1.
Yeah.
Okay, good for you. Did you like it?
Yes.
Reading it? Okay.
Yeah.
And you've watched it already, alright?
I watched the first half of season 1.
Okay.
And then I, stopped. When,
Because you wanted to read it, or?
Yes.
Okay.
Because when Jamie popped out of that window, I was like, no, I gotta read this.
Yeah. It gets, yeah. I'm not gonna...
If you know, you know.
Yeah. I just love that actor. I'm just gonna say that now. Anyways. Yeah, I didn't really read anything else, so.
And then I did a Christopher Pike novel called Die Softly, which is a 90s teen horror book.
Oh, they're
Yeah.
always fun. Okay, all right. Yeah, no, I've been lacking on the reading. This is like such a big book, and then once I got sucked in, I was like, okay, we're finishing it.
Yep.
And I finished it super early, so.
I finished it today.
Yes.
So,
Been there, done that.
it's a little stressful.
Yes, 100%. 100%. That's what I did with Wool. Yeah. It's just, I don't know. Anyways.
Okay, so our book this week
Sorry.
is The Games Gods Play by Abigail Owen. Are we ready to begin?
Yeah, I mean, yes. How do you want to start, I guess?
Let's start with,
Because there's a lot of characters, and
not a lot of them really matter. Like, they
Yeah.
do, but they don't.
yes, like, knowing their names will suffice. Or knowing what champion, or what god they are champion
Yes.
for. But other than that, yeah, it's not necessary.
Yeah, I put all of them their champion over
Yeah,
here.
Nope, I did the same. Gods and their champions, and then I lost count. I'm like, there should be 13.
I don't know if I got all 13, but I got a lot of them.
Yeah, nope, like I said, I have 8 pages of notes. So, I went a little crazy with notes because, yeah.
Well, there was a lot of detail in this book. I was like, what do I need to know? What is important? There's clues hidden.
So much. It's one of those books where you could read it probably over and over and still find something different.
Yes.
Even,
Which I'm probably going to do before the second one comes out.
100%. So there's a second one coming out in September, which I already pre-ordered. Because I'm jumping ahead. So, back up.
Let's talk
yeah.
about the book
Yeah.
before our rating.
No, let's do the ratings first. We're getting No, I'm just kidding.
Even though I think
Sorry.
they're both going to be favorable for
Okay.
this book.
So I guess I just want to kind of do like more background on the story and then leading into it. So there was a war. The gods decided they couldn't figure out who was to be king or queen. King of the gods. So they decided every century they're going to do what's called the crucibles. And each god has a champion. Usually there's only 12 gods that enter. Some of them, if you don't really know Greek mythology, you won't know some of them, but you'll probably know what they're the god of. So, like...
Yeah, I guess that's fair.
Yeah, like,
Yeah.
you know, there's a god of love and, you know, whatever, but you might not know the name. I didn't feel like I needed a lot of knowledge of Greek mythology, even though I feel like I've just gaining more knowledge of it as we read god books.
That should have been our theme for one of the months, is
You
let's
know-
have God in the title.
You know, that probably would have lasted us 2 months.
Yeah.
Yes. So it's not necessary. I guess, what's your perspective on it? Do you think you enjoyed it more knowing more about Greek mythology?
No, because I think they were just like...
They're just characters.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean,
That's
you need
kind
to
of how
know
I felt, but I know
Hades and kind of like Zeus are the two big ones.
Right.
But everybody else is kind of like scattered in there, and if you don't know who they are,
it's not that
it's not
deep.
that big. And you also need to know who Persephone is. That's
Yes.
another big one.
She's not in the book, but she is talked about. Am I missing anything usually? Like, besides the Crucible? So,
No, I don't.
the Crucible, each god decides to make a labor, which is kind of like a challenge. And that's how they decide who wins. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
I also want to say that I was describing this to Kyle.
Okay.
And I go, she's already went through her second labor. And he goes, damn, she's had 2 babies already.
I know, that's why I said labor. I was like, oh, because like reading it, I was like, what the fuck it wasn't. And it's just another word for challenge or competition. And I kind of liked it because it was kind of different than most. Because most of her like challenge or trial, you know what I mean?
Well, it comes from the Herculean labors where he had to do all these different trials.
That makes sense.
I forget what the ultimate goal was, but that's where it comes from.
Okay, cool. Okay, that's kind of what the book's about, and obviously the first couple chapters, explain that to you. But I think ready to just go in?
Yep, let's go.
Okay. I do have some like cool like tad bit facts, like key points I want to point out maybe later, but if we have time. I don't want to talk your ear off about this book, even though I feel like I could.
I mean, that's kind of the point of this.
I know, but I don't want, don't want to go on a tangent.
There will probably be multiple tangents.
Yes.
Just be aware.
I mean, I kind of, like, starting out, it's just Greek mythology, or Greek gods, but it kind of hits on, I would say, like, 3 or 4 different gods, so any kind of gods that any kind of society believed in. So I know they said something about the Celtic gods, the Norse gods, right? Nordic.
Yeah.
Nordic. Obviously the Greek gods, and that's really all they talked about. But I know there's more, but
I think
that's
so,
like
yeah.
the main trio.
So those are pretty much the Western.
Okay.
There's also paganism, obviously,
Right.
which they didn't talk about.
Yeah.
Which, from my knowledge, kind of combines everything. But I don't know that much about paganism.
I gotcha.
So if I'm wrong, I'm sorry.
Yeah, religion is not my strong suit. So yeah, I don't want to go through like all the characters because some of them don't matter.
Okay, let's do our first 2 main important characters.
Okay,
That
can do.
Lyra,
Karas?
yeah, Lyra. Okay,
Lyra.
that's what we're going with.
Yeah. Lyra, and that's her point of view throughout the entire book. There is no other point of view, right?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, so Lyra's our main character. And then, of course, Hades, which is the king of the underworld. That were our 2 main characters.
Yeah. And he's not voiced by James Woods in this.
Only in your head, I guess, if you want to read it.
I think that might be a little weird.
That would be... I couldn't do it mentally, but like if someone wanted to do it like an audiobook, guys, just say it. I think that'd be amazing, but anyways. So there are 8 parts of the book, plus an epilogue.
Yep. And a preface. I think. Yeah. No, that was part 1. Never mind.
Okay, I was like... I just did the parts. So part 1 kind of, which is like chapter 1. Actually, no, I'm lying. There are chapters inside the parts.
Yes.
I did not write those down.
There's 111 chapters.
Yes, there are very... some of them are like 2 pages, and some of them are like 5 pages, so...
I kind of like when books have shorter chapters.
I do too. I feel like having like 100 pages in one chapter is like...
Yeah, it's a bit much.
Like, you feel like you can't have a good stopping point. This one, you had plenty.
Yes.
Just leaving that out there. So yeah, part 1, which is labeled the Crucible, talks about what the Crucible's for, what it is trying to prevent. I guess the gods went super crazy when they just until they decided to do this. So there's like an Eniacs war that happened, and that's what they're trying to not repeat.
Yeah. The Axian War.
Yes, Axian War.
So, gods are fickle creatures, especially the Greek gods. And any little thing that you can do could possibly piss them off.
Oh, 100%.
So, this is how you get the Trojan War. Just so you know.
Yes. They're very prideful, and this book really goes on to show how little the gods think of mortals, because in their lifespan, we're just a blink.
Yes.
Okay.
So, Lyra is cursed to be unlovable, which I don't know how her curse actually works, because people were loving her the whole book.
It actually did say that the point of her she figured out the point of her curse was it doesn't make people hate her, but it makes them never choose her, which I can construe as unlovable. like always being like the second choice in anything. I think that's at least how it's kind of said.
Yeah. So she gets pissed off about this because one of the other thieves kind of tells Boone, which is the guy that she has a crush on, that she has a crush on him, even though she knows that he's not going to like her. Okay. So she goes to Zeus's temple and she goes, I'm pissed. I'm going to end this curse. Like,
I love her reasoning. She's like, I'm going to go fuck up Zeus's like temple, because obviously they have temples throughout the mortal lands. They're located in San Francisco of all places, and this takes place during modern times. So Lyra goes to the temple and she's like, I'm just gonna fucking deface it, which is bad because
he would smite her.
Yes. So who saves the day?
I don't know if it saves the day, but he stops her from getting smited.
Which, if she did, we wouldn't have this entire book, so I think he saved the day.
Yeah.
Yes, so Haiti kind of comes and he's like, what you do? Like, nonchalant attitude, and she's like, just fucking hate Zeus. And
well, she doesn't know it's Hades at the
not
beginning.
like the very beginning, but then she kind of works out, he's too pretty.
Yeah.
He's too pretty. Come on, like, okay. So then she figures out, he's the king, or like,
he's Hades,
yeah. And just leaves. That's the end of part 1. And then part 2 is every century, every 100 years, the Crucible happens, and obviously the gods pick. I don't know how they pick them. Usually, they said sometimes if you're most devoted to them, or I don't know, just whoever they feel like is gonna be the best person to win.
Yeah,
basically. And so they go through, and this is televised, because I don't know, I assume it's like one temple, but Zeus starts and he picks his champion, and then kind of all the other 11 other gods pick their champions.
Yeah, I think it's held in the Olympus.
Okay, yeah.
And then everybody they get zapped there and then back.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just, that was kind of how do people know? But yeah, it's televised. I mean, people go crazy over it. The Crucible itself is not televised, only to the gods.
Yeah.
That's kind of how I took it. The god, all the other minor gods in Olympus, or whoever wants to watch, they can watch, but not mortals.
Yeah,
which I feel
that sounds about right.
I feel like they should have just televised it to the mortals, but They don't do that.
I mean, to be fair, if you're thinking about it as
like
televised, from like now until TV, really, the previous Crucible was before television, kind of.
Yeah, that makes sense. I didn't think about that. Yeah, because it said monotron. Yeah, okay. Makes sense. I didn't think about that.
Because 1912 or 1911 is the oldest movie that we have in our collection. And it's like old.
Right.
It's A Trip to the Moon. If you've seen that moon with a thing coming out of its eye.
Yeah.
It's that movie.
Oh, cool. I didn't know that. That's interesting. Cool. Yeah. So, of course, this is the first Crucible in, I don't know how many other Crucibles they've had before now. Sorry, I don't know. Didn't say. And right after the last champion, or the last god tells them they're champion, Hades decides to be like, hey, I'm gonna join. And that throws a lot of people off. Because he's never wanted to be a part of this before. Didn't really care about being, whatever, the god of gods. And this year, surprised. And you can kind of guess who he picks.
Yeah.
Lyra.
Not the fake name that she gave him either.
Yeah. I mean, you should never tell a god, your God-given name, But yeah, he already did. She could not escape.
Well, technically she had a choice. She was like, because they go, oh, if you don't want to compete in this, you don't have to.
It's a sham, though. Like, if you decide not to, I think Hades said one person decided not to, and he chose, the god chose, someone they really loved to be part of it instead, so it's like, okay, I guess. Which I think is funny. And of course, this kind of pisses off, literally everybody. Everyone. The gods are like, no, you're a king of something, you don't need to be God. Mortals are like, oh my god, what if he's God? A lot of people are scared because obviously he's the god of death.
He's the god of the underworld,
Yeah.
which deals with death.
Yes.
But as you find out in this book, the Elysian fields and all this other stuff, it's not like fire and brimstone hell.
Yeah. Which I always thought, Yeah. That's my version of it, you know what I mean? But you never know until you go over, so I guess I'll let you know. Haunt you from the dead. No, I'm just kidding. So, let's see here. So this is when Hades is all the champions and gods meet up in Olympus. And all the other gods decided to dress their champions up with the virtues of that god or goddess. Which, Zeus, obviously, thunder, the Aphrodite, isn't she the love of, or the goddess of love?
Yeah.
So, anything to do with their virtues, they dress the champions in, and Lyra is just like, where's my shit? And he's like, I don't really care, and he sees how much, this makes her feel upset because it ostracizes her more. So,
I mean, this is the first time he's competed.
yes.
So she's already, spotlight.
Yes. So she's like, you could have, helped the girl out. And so he does. And this is where you find out a little bit later, but he made her a tiara. And he's like, don't all girls like tiaras? The stones in them are
The pomegranate seeds from
Yeah.
Persephone. So what happened with Hades and Persephone is that Hades, this is Greek. This is not fiction Greek.
No, I got you. I was like, man, you're already spoiling shit. No, I'm just kidding.
Hades kidnapped Persephone, and then she wouldn't eat anything in the underworld because she was going to have to stay, and Demeter was obviously pissed because Demeter's her mom.
Yes.
And he tricks her into eating 6 pomegranate seeds. And this traps her in the underworld for 6 months. And this is why we have the seasons. This is how they explain the seasons. Because everything's dead and dying those 6 months, and then it rejuvenates in the spring and summer.
I didn't realize. I knew it was 6 months, but I didn't think about the seasons. I really need to brush up on my mythology. I guess that's what it comes down to. If I ever keep reading books about gods, especially Greek mythology, I need to.
I just have too much knowledge on some bullshit.
There's nothing wrong with that. I love useless. Well, it's not useless knowledge, but it's useless knowledge. Let's be real.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. So you don't find that out until later. And this was Hades trying to. Of course, Hades is not a rule breaker. He is a fan of loopholes. So their first labor is one of they
have to find their
thank you. I was like
god's like trinket or sigil or something, and bring it to that god. So in the first task, because it's not truly
it's not really a true labor.
There's a bunch of junk on this table or this area, and then they have to go through it and find there's a symbol for each of the gods on their
on their
items. There's also multiple ways to do this.
Yes. Which of course, let's be real, gods, and they're all fans about giving you the task by having multiple ways to be able to complete it. But people don't think that way sometimes.
Yes.
So, this is kind of the first. I mean, after they all meet, he changes her, and then the first task is there. So basically, you only have an hour.
Because it's always timed.
Yeah, it's always timed. And the Zales, who is in charge of kind of like the rules, Zales. And then you have the Dominions, and they're kind of hovering over every labor. So they are the ones that punish people that break the rules of the labor. So they're kind of in charge of. They've already set the labors up like a couple years before the Crucible. I think it's like a year before. And that's why Hades was not allowed to have a labor. Because obviously each labor is that god or goddess's chance to get their champion the best leg up they can.
Yep.
Because you're not supposed to tell them the labors, but there's obviously loopholes to everything.
So the gods aren't supposed to interfere with any of the games.
Right.
So they're not supposed to tell them what it is, and they're not supposed to give them like relics or answers or anything that they haven't been given before. Like they can have human tools, and then they can have I think that's it. Any relics they win.
Yes. So the table's full of relics. So they're supposed to find each of their god or goddess. That's going to be a mouthful every time I have to say god.
Just say god.
Okay.
It's fine.
Sorry. We're all, So they are really not sure what they're looking for. So you don't necessarily get disqualified after the hour. You just you're not able to get
two gifts.
2 gifts, yes. One is they are allowed to give you a relic, and they are allowed to give you a gift, right?
Yeah.
Of any kind. So they're kind of, and this is what I like about Lyra, because she's probably the only one in the champions that doesn't really want anyone to die.
Well, I feel like some of the other ones don't. There's only like one that really is like, I don't care if anybody dies.
Yeah, which I can kind of understand, but let's get into that. So this is the first kind of labor, is not even it's labor. So it's everyone trying to find their god or goddess's relic, and I think all of them. Oh yeah, because Lyra kind of
So she tells everybody how to find it because somebody else was like figuring out what to do.
Yes.
So she kept flipping over items because they had a sigil or a symbol of each god on them to find the item. So she started flipping over items, and when she found them, she was like, okay, well, this is this person, so you might as well...
Yeah.
Here's a leg up for you.
Yes. And some of the other gods are like, bitch, don't be doing this. You're helping other people. Which, makes people more angry at her. And, so this is kind of how she is throughout the entire labors. Like, if she figures it out or figures out what to do or try to survive, she just announces it without any price to pay, which is unusual because, the gods always demand a price of everything.
Yes.
So, I can't remember who,
It was...
I was going to say who...
Champions.
Sorry, give us a second. Some of the gods or some of the champions has found, and then they get like transported somewhere else, and that's where you're supposed to meet the god. And they're trying to find their trinkets is how you get to them. And
Ares breaks.
Ares.
That was who we're looking for.
Yeah. So, Ares kind of finds, like, the thing for Hades, and it's, like, this, like, bull-looking thing, and he just throws it across the fucking room, and she, like, tries to dive for it, and,
It breaks.
it breaks, and that was the only relic on the table, but Hades gave her a little...
hint,
loopholes and everything, and she starts thinking, and there's like these long staircases, and why is there always stairs?
Yeah,
That's what I want to know.
Well, there's directions on that bowl thing, and like they're cryptid.
Yeah, it's some kind of
it's basically
coded.
Braille.
Yeah.
So he kind of gives her that hint, and then she figures out the directions, and she's like, oh, okay. And then she books it up the stairs.
Yeah, it was only like 15 minutes left of the hour challenge, by the way. And she makes it by the hair of her, like, chin, like, oh my god. Like, she, like, flops on the freaking stairs and gets, like, injured and stuff.
I think she just touches one of his shoes, and that's how she gets it. She's like, I'm here.
I'm here, and it counts because it was right in like, nick of time, and then she proceeds to throw up on him. And then of course he's like, I gotta clean. It's like, I really want that out of all the, like, the freaking powers, I want that, just to be like, yep, I'm dressed now and I can imagine whatever I want to imagine.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
It would be nice.
It would be nice. So Lyra wins, and I think everybody
gets theirs.
Yeah. Which is the first Crucible in history, by the way. That everyone wins their relic. And so Hades gives her what are they? Like animal spirit guys?
Yeah. So they're like tattoos, but they're not tattoos. And
yeah, like, so she has to, like, drag her hand from her wrist to her elbow, and they awaken these tattoos, which are animals. There's an owl, a fox, a panther, and a tarantula, right?
yes, I think she has the butterfly too, but I don't
The
know.
butterfly doesn't go with her.
So it's still with Hades.
Yeah, goes temperamental, and she's like, no, I ain't leaving Hades. And each, obviously, I think each animal has, like, the typical things that animal would have.
And they can help her
Yes.
anytime she wants. But Hades also tells her not to reveal things too soon.
Hint, hint. Anyways. And then the second thing is a safe passage to the underworld.
Yeah, and to do that, he has to kiss her.
A very, passionate kiss. And then, of course, nothing until the 70% it. So, not a very spicy book, but there's only one sex scene in there, and it is spicy. And that's all we need to know for now. Yes. And then Boone so they go back, and she actually has to live with Hades for the duration of the labors. And he decides to take her back to San Francisco, which they're based at, and she's a member of the Order of the Thieves, which also, they
worship Hermes.
Hermes, yes. So Boone, the one she has a crush on, and he knows that she has a crush on him because another member of the Order is a dick. His name is Chance. And he gives her, because obviously she just disappeared out of nothing, so she didn't have what she normally has, even though she's not really a thief. She's more of the clerk. So she's one that plans the heist and have other people follow through.
Yeah.
So he hands her this tactical vest, her relic, each of them in the Order of the Thieves, once you graduate, I guess.
Once you become a master thief, you get a relic. So hers, she didn't pass the test.
Right.
But hers just showed up randomly, and this was the first, you find out later. It's an axe.
Yes.
But you find out after the first trial what that axe signifies.
Yes. Yes.
And then he also gives her dragon teeth. That was
the dragon teeth.
His relic, that if you plant them in the ground, skeletons spring up and they'll fight for you.
Yeah, whatever command, they will fight till the end. So until they really just disintegrate again, basically.
Yeah.
Or get too injured. So then part 3 is the first labor, which is Poseidon's labor.
Let the games begin.
Yes.
Is what part 3 was called.
Yep. Let the games begin. And we start with Poseidon's, which I thought was pretty interesting. Because it started in... Do you know anything about Finnell's Cave before this? Or
No.
Flingel's Cave? It's a Celtic god, which I thought was interesting because that's the first time that you realize that not just Greek gods are around. It's basically anyone that believes in any kind of god. They live in Olympus. No matter... Or maybe... I'm not really sure on that part now that I think about it. But they are physical beings within this universe, which I thought was pretty cool.
I would assume they don't all live in Olympus, but they live in their
they're
separate
areas.
Where the gods live kind of thing.
Right.
Norse mythology, they have I don't know where they live. I know that Ragnarok is the end of times.
Yeah, shoot. I knew that. Yeah. I only know it because of God of War. Shoot. Valhalla? No, that's
where...
That's their, heaven.
Yes.
Nope.
Valhalla's where the warriors go.
Yeah, that's where I'm gonna go. Fuck that. So, it's in a cave, and everyone is transported and tied to
a pole.
And they have to fight sea creatures.
But the sea creatures aren't there at the beginning.
No. So the water is receding, and so they're well, we're going to cut ourselves off because obviously they're half submerged in water, and once it fully kind of drains, I don't know how low it gets, but the more your body's going to pull on whatever's tied up. So they're we need to get the fuck out.
Well, we're more buoyant.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty much. And obviously Lyra has her axe, and she takes that out and cuts her down. A couple others get out by themselves, and she hands
Isabel a
wire cutter.
Yeah.
And then she gets her axe stolen, which I feel is a really good theme in this book. She just loses. She leaves her axe somewhere, and obviously it just shows back up.
Which is what it said it did with the relic, because she's I'm not supposed to have this relic, so I'm going to get rid of it, and then it just showed back up.
Yes, yeah. She's just had it for 10 plus years, so she's pretty good at throwing it, because it is, I think, a throwing axe. It's not a typical, you're going to chop some wood down.
It's a shorter...
Yeah, it's a shorter
axe,
which are more typically throwing axes.
Which is on the cover of the book, by the way.
Yes. Just an FYI, I guess you were wondering what it looked like. No.
And there's 2 of them on the cover.
Anyway. So this is where she uses the dragon teeth for...
Because the sea creatures, monsters start showing up. Because once the air hits their eggs, they hatch.
Kind of like alien.
Yeah.
And they're kind of like I just wrote down sea creatures. I wouldn't say they're like, they have tails, kind of like a seahorse, deadlier.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going with that. And this is
where she does the dragon teeth.
Yeah, the dragon teeth. The winner of the labor has to figure out how to solve it. And they don't really say what they're solving for, which of course the gods are dicks and they're just like, solve the puzzle! What puzzle? Like what? Okay.
They have to figure out why these creatures are
Yes.
hatching is what they're trying to figure out.
Yes, and I think they figure, well, obviously they're trying to kill them, so we're gonna kill them. That's the end, you know? And you don't really see a lot of the other champions' perspective because you only see Lyra's. So you only really see what she does, and then labor's kind of over. And then you kind of find out later that Diego, which is Demeter's champion, he wins, and the reward of that was the rings of lordy, Gaius, which is invisibility. But this is also where we kind of have our first death.
Or Isabel.
I know. Unbeknownst to everyone else, she gets injured, and the wound kind of turns into...
I think she gets bitten, and then...
Yeah, like bit in like the thigh area, and kind of turns into flesh-eating bacteria that kills her
instantly, almost
like,
instantly.
Yeah, like matter of minutes.
And she was Poseidon's champion.
Yes.
So he's out.
Yeah, he
His
kind of fucked that up. And I mean, yeah. But Lyra kind of holds her hand, and she's like, I'm here, and she was really close to, not really close as a person, but she was like the last person
physically close to
yeah.
her.
Yeah. She gets her axe stolen by Dex, and then gets it back, I think, somewhere in the challenge. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Dex is Athena's
an asshole.
Yeah. Is Athena's champion. Sorry, sometimes it doesn't matter, so I wrote like the notes. Yeah.
Athena's the god of war.
Yeah, Athena's
one of the
god
of
war.
wars.
Yeah. So that's into that labor. And so Lyra kind of realizes really quickly, like, shit, I need to get alliances and fucking fast.
And this is where you find out about the axe, because she shows back up to Hades' penthouse,
And he's pissed.
He's pissed because she helped everybody, and she revealed 2 of the relics that she had, and he's like, where did you get the dragon teeth and the axe? And then he shows her another axe that looks exactly like hers, and he goes, this was mine, and it disappeared 10 years ago.
And it's a matching set.
Yeah.
And she's like, no, I've had these for years. So then you find out that they're Odin's axes, which I don't know a lot about Nordic mythology.
Odin is the all-father. He's the big daddy god of Norse mythology.
But he gifted them to the oldest son of Kronos after they imprisoned the Titan in Tartarus. Thank you.
So Hades, Poseidon, and Zeus are the original 3 gods.
Okay.
In this group of Greek gods.
Yes. Yeah. They're 3 brothers, obviously.
Male gods, I guess, is to say. And so Kronos had a prophecy told on him that one of his children would beat him and like become this big god.
Okay.
So to combat that, he decided he was going to eat his children. The gods can't die. So
I love that painting though.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So he consumed all of his children, and then Zeus showed up, and Zeus is the youngest of the ones that were eaten, and he defeated Kronos, and he locked the Titans into wherever Tartarus.
Tartarus,
Yes.
yeah. I'm like, I think that's it, right? That place is in the book a little bit later on, so we'll kind of hit on that more. Thank you, because I didn't know any of that. I mean, I should, but yeah, you know. So
It's me being a nerd.
There's
Nerd
nothing wrong
shit.
with that, okay? So Lyra kind of figures out. Hades decides he has to go somewhere because obviously he's a king, because he needs to do his duties of, you know, the dying people across the river Styx. So she's like, I need to go find allies, and he's like, I think you should stay in here. And he's like, it's frowned upon for the gods and goddesses to kill the other champions, but that there is no rule against the champions killing other champions.
Yes.
Just put that out there.
Stay here and you're going to be safe.
Yes.
And she goes, nah.
She's like, I really need this. If you want me to fucking win, I need to do this. And so she leaves, and she doesn't really have anyone in mind. She's like just wandering. And then she actually come across
Dax and Aphrodite.
Aphrodite.
It's Dax first, and then Aphrodite sends him away. Because she does that thing, that little spell thing that makes you do whatever you want.
Don't you wish to... And as soon as you start hearing that, you zone the fuck out. You don't listen to nothing she says, because then it will come true. Which Hades kind of warned her about a little bit before. So she kind of sends him off. And she kind of likes Lyra, right?
Yeah.
And, like, she's like, I'm gonna give you a hint, because Hades is my favorite brother. We're like, okay. And then she kind of gives her a hint about her labor, which has to do with someone that you love the most.
But she's like, I don't have anybody.
Yeah. So we're putting a pin in that right now, because hers is a little bit later. And then at the end of this kind of like part 3, she actually meets
Zai.
Zai, and he's Hermes' champion and son of the previous winner of the Crucible. His wish was for his family to live in Olympus. So I think two other siblings and mom and dad. I'm not sure if it was 2 brothers. I know it was another brother, but I don't know what the third sibling was. And they kind of talk, and then you meet Zai's father, which is kind of a butthole, and he really just wants Zai to win because he wants to stay in Olympus. Because they haven't aged over the century and got the good life, you know?
Yeah.
And they kind of like split ways, and she goes into this bar, and Poseidon is there getting drunk off his ass because he's pissed at himself for killing his own
He's
champ.
also pissed at her for whatever reason.
Because he hates Hades, I think is what it is, because he was kind of a dick. Anyways,
Well, from my understanding, most people hate Hades in Greek mythology, but all of the gods and goddesses are awful. If you look into, they've all done something awful, and Zeus likes to change into random things and like rape women.
yeah, he's kind of a dick.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's no redeeming qualities in that heifer. Okay. So Poseidon like kind of finds Lyra and Zai, and that's where they split up. And then Poseidon kind of tries to get, I don't know if his intention was to kill Lyra, but he was gonna severely fuck her up. Because another rule in the fucking Crucible is only the winners of the labors get healed.
or their virtue, or the virtues. So they have 4 virtues.
Yes. Sorry.
Mind, strength, courage, and heart.
Mm-hmm.
I believe are the 4, which will come up later.
Yes, on Artemis's challenge, correct? Yes.
Yes. Artemis and Apollo.
Strength, mind, heart, and courage. Okay. Not that I need to fact check you.
So if you're one of those 4 virtues, and I think there's like at least 2 or 3 for each, then they can be healed as well.
I gotcha. I missed that part. Because Lyra's not a part of any of them.
Yeah.
So she gets obviously excluded from that. So the only way she can be healed is if she wins one of the labors. And so Hades kind of saves Lyra from Poseidon.
Yep.
And Hades is more powerful than any other god. He doesn't throw it around like the other ones. Mainly because he doesn't want to kill people because they come to him anyways, which I kind of get his reasoning.
There's no point in killing somebody if they're just going to show up at your door.
Yeah. I mean, fair enough. And this is kind of where Lyra first meets Cerberus.
I love that part. I was like, oh yes, it's Cerberus.
Yes, and she names each head, which I think is so cute. I just love Cerberus.
I love Cerberus. And in that chapter, I was like, Cerberus is a sweet bean.
Yes, he is. So cute. Which, of course, Hades is upset that Cerberus kind of likes Lyra because, you know.
I just loved in that chapter where he was like, don't touch him. And then Cerberus is like, yeah, you can.
Yes. He's like, bitch! So this kind of leads into the next labor, which is Hermes. And he wanted basically to win his labor, solve the riddle while on the side of a fucking mountain being on a plank. And of course there's always a twist. What's the twist, Rachel?
So they have to ask the fates their riddles, and if each time they ask a riddle, the competitors lose an inch of plank, and they get 6 inches.
Three or 6.
They start out with 12.
I think you're right, 6, because I think they only get 3 questions.
Yes. They get 3 questions. So if a bunch of competitors rapid fire questions, then you can lose your whole plank and you can fall and die.
Yes. And this was some of the champions were prepared for. I'm not gonna say prepared. I'm gonna say ready. Lyra was unfortunately one of, I think, a couple other champions that were still sleeping, so they're in their pajamas. So she has nothing besides her tattoos.
Well, I think the only one that was dressed was Dax.
I think there was another. There were two other ones, I think, that were dressed, but maybe not prepared.
And that has to do with his relic that he got from his god. Mm-hmm. Because he has the ability of foresight. So he can see, like, kind of what's coming up, but not really.
Yeah. Yeah, they explain they have 3. So she asks...
Oh, also, this is important. There's 3 fates. One of them tells the truth. One of them lies. One of them flip-flops.
Yeah.
So we've got labyrinth rules.
That's a really good way to think about it. Fuck, yeah. So basically, their goal of the riddle was to figure out who was who, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
They were supposed to solve the riddle, which we never get the answer to what the riddle was, which I was kind of upset about. I was a little upsetty spaghetti.
I get it. I understand completely. So Lyra asks her first question, which...
They can be yes or no questions.
Yes,
and she
yes or
asks,
no questions only.
One of them if her name is Lyra, and they say yes. So that fate can either be the one that flip-flops or the one that's telling the truth.
Which I didn't really get, because in the beginning of the book, she was kind of like a foster kid. So she grew up in the Order of Thieves. So she was there since the age of 3. And she said she didn't remember what her true name was. So that's why I was like, well, how can it be true?
Well, eventually, the
Like,
name that you give
okay.
yourself, or whoever gave it, Felix or whoever gave it,
Yeah.
is her true name.
Okay. I was like, I felt like that was a loophole, but I was like, I don't know if it's gonna go in her favor or not, because I was like, I don't know. Like, that was just thrown in there in the beginning of the book, so I'm like,
She also,
I don't.
admittedly, she goes, that was a stupid question. She's
That's
like,
true.
this doesn't help me at all.
No. Which is, yes. That's what I was thinking. I'm like, yeah, that doesn't help. What the hell? So she basically teams up with Zai. She, like, uses her tattoo to, I think she uses the owl one, because the owl can, like, speak in your mind. All the animals can. I should just say that. All the animals can speak in your mind, but they don't speak physically. So she basically tells the owl, hey, tell Zai, I will share my answers. Or, whatever questions you want me to ask, I can ask, because she has the 2 questions left. Zai wins this challenge. One person falls off the roof because they lost their plank. Like, you can hide you can hide. You can cling onto the side of the mountain if you can.
Yes.
I think it was a mirror.
Yeah, it was a mirror, and he didn't,
He fell, but he survived. And he was Hera's champion.
So the prize for winning this one was the sandals,
Yes.
Hermes' sandals. So they fly, if you've seen anything about Hermes. They're the ones with the wings on them.
Yeah, and the winged sandals, the Talaria, I think.
Yeah. So she makes a deal with Zai, and she's like, I can use my questions. If you figure it out, just fly me out.
Because she doesn't even have any shoes on, so like I can see trying to like scale down that fucking mountain with no
Like,
shoes.
No.
I don't know about that.
Because they have to climb. Whoever doesn't win has to climb down the mountain.
Yeah. Fuck you.
Yeah.
So that actually gets a lot of people pissed off because obviously
She
went with Zai. And they realize, they're allies. And then I think actually Zai goes and gets a mirror as well to help him.
maybe, or he might be
Right after.
part of the same virtue. Because
Is
he
that
gets
why?
healed somehow.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah, I didn't
I
write down
think.
their virtues. Sorry. I didn't write down their virtues. Because I don't know half of what the gods are. But that's my own fault. So this leads into part 4, which is keep your enemies closer. And this is like 200 pages into the book. So we have, I think it's like a 600-page book.
645.
600?
I know that because I finished this today.
So a lot of information, a lot of things thrown at you. And
That's why I was trying to get all the labors correct. I was like, this is what happened in each of these labors.
there was I didn't think I honestly thought that the end of this book was going to be like the 6th labor. Like, I did not think they were going to fit all 12 of the labors into this book.
Yeah, I kind of felt like that too. I was like,
So I thought it was going to be a cliffhanger anyways. That's beside the point. Let's get on with this.
so this is when
Things start really happening between Zeus and Lyra.
Yeah, is Hades and Lyra. What did I say, Zeus?
So, God, no, forget that motherfucker. Sorry.
But
Woo!
this is when her and Zai kind of like form the alliance,
Yes.
and then people come after her, and she falls into the
River
Styx.
Which apparently is deadly to mortals. Go figure.
And I was like, okay, if it's deadly to mortals, is she a demigod?
No, because she had the protection of...
You
almost said it
Hades.
too. Yes, Hades. That apparently covers that as well.
Okay.
Yes. And that's why Zai didn't follow her, obviously.
Yeah.
But Zai did actually fly to Hades. And
I love that Cerberus found her and he goes, what you doing down here?
yeah, just so cute.
She
Yes.
goes, I didn't mean to. And he goes, I have somebody to introduce you to. And this is when we get Charon,
the ferryman, which is hot. Just saying, that's the description we get. He's hot. I mean, I'm just saying, I'm just putting that out there. You know, maybe he's the love interest later in the. I don't know.
I think the second book is gonna be her and Hades still.
I can't. I just can't. Anyways, I can't think of it out in the moment.
Yeah.
So yeah. So the other virtues are mad as because they really don't want Hades to be. So yes, Dex is kind of the ringleader and gets a couple of them together and's like, nah, we're gonna kill you now, so he can't win. No possibility of winning. And that's when she gets thrown in the river.
I think she falls into the river.
Yeah, she's like, the only way we're gonna survive is to fall off this like waterfall. And she's like, you got the wings, the winged sandals. You'll be fine.
the Mount Rushmore of
Woo!
Olympus.
Yes. Yeah, pretty much.
That has Zeus, Poseidon, and Hades' space carved into it.
Yep, and then spewing out water. And of course, which I think is funny, Hades is spewing out like the river Styx because it's like a black, murky kind of water. Yeah. But yeah, so she, you find out a little bit about Persephone and Hades. So in every other story that you've ever heard, they're lovers.
Yes.
Yes. I'm pretty sure they were lovers.
Besides maybe the original one, because there's some dubious consent in that. But
we're taking that off the table.
every other one, they're together.
And this is kind of where Sharon kind of tells Lyra about the pomegranate seeds, what they're used for, how they can be used, I guess I should say.
And he said, don't use them unless it's an emergency.
And I feel like every time someone tells her that, she just does it anyways. But it's fine. Yes. They were never, Persephone and Hades were never lovers. He loved her like a sister or a daughter, and found beauty in the underworld. That's why she's, like, visited.
So she's the goddess of flowers.
Okay.
So, and she's something else. It's flowers and something. I forget what her second one is, but it's definitely flowers. So she brought the Elysium Fields to be what they are. So she planted flowers and made it beautiful, and
which it is described very beautifully. And like kind of like the beginning of the book, it's said that Persephone is dead and Hades is mourning, and that's how he kind of introduces, since my loved one isn't here, I want to enter.
She's been dead for 100 years.
Yeah,
that's gonna come up later.
Yeah.
Because it's the same amount of time as the Crucible.
Ooh, yeah. Yeah. I didn't get she was gone for this century until like later. It said like in the beginning it said like she was been gone for a couple of years. I didn't realize it was a century until you get more into the story of what happened to her. Just gonna leave it at that. And so this gives Lyra kind of like, oh, they weren't lovers. I can have hope. But, of course, she's, unlovable. So
I don't think it affects the gods.
I don't think so either.
I also think they're fated mates. Because I think that's why the axe went to her.
Mm.
Because I was like, oh, they have the same. That's his axe.
Yeah.
They're fated.
I can see it, yeah. 100%. So basically, Hades said that if she wins the Crucible, he would lift her curse. Yes. There we go. I'm like, what word am I looking for here? So she wants a chance at actual true love,
but I don't think he lifted it. Like, honestly, like it's got lifted, but I think she kind of broke it when she became a goddess. That's at the end, by the way. Spoilers.
Yes.
Yeah. If you're watching this, I assume you read the book,
or you want to read the book and. Sorry. Yeah, so then it kind of goes into the next labor, which is Dionysus. Is that how you say his name?
Yes.
Okay. His is to, you basically carry vodka? Because he's the god of, like, wine and party or something.
Yes. He's Dionysus or Bacchus, if you remember from True Blood.
Okay.
It's the god that the Maenad worships.
Okay, I gotcha.
So he's the god of, like, wine and party and,
Yes.
like, excess.
Yeah. So he explains that they must transport the expensive vodka. It just sounds so weird to say. Like,
Potato water.
To a cave, like, that's kilometers away. To a different cave. Because they have to go through a cave into the next cave. Anyways.
I just want to say this trial is my worst nightmare.
Really?
Listen.
I was actually going to ask that at the end. Like, which was your, like, worst labor? And
Like, this
yours?
isn't the worst labor, but this is, like, sounds
Your
like
personal worst.
personal worst.
Okay.
Because there's poison ivy in this. And if they touch it, they break out in, like, boils and stuff.
Yeah, like, it's harsh.
Yes. I already with poison ivy, it's real bad.
Oh, I didn't know that. I've never had poison ivy. My husband has, and yeah.
You might be one of the people that's, like, immune to it, that you can't really get it.
I don't want to test that theory.
No, I don't either. I'm just saying, like,
yeah, no.
I got it last year because it was on Cooper. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't realize. Yeah, no, I've never, thankfully, ever had poison ivy. I'm not gonna wood here. Yeah. So basically, you win by whoever has the most vodka at the end, right?
Yes.
Yeah. And so some of them team up, and this is where Dex basically was like, we're gonna have to incapacitate you. Not kill you. Incapacitate. There's a difference. Not really. I don't think so. So he kind of gets some of the other, like, it's like kind of like, I wouldn't even say split evenly. But they all worked.
For this one, it's mainly, there's like 2 groups and then
Yes.
there's a couple stragglers.
Yes. A couple of people go off on their own. And then most of them go with Dex. And they, like, create this, like, sled kind of thing to try to get as much as possible. They split the vodka half and half. Like, there's this, like, whole, like, you know, each kind of group takes half and half. And then the people that are stragglers only take, I think, like, 2 or 3 bottles. Whatever they think they can easily carry. And they just hope they're going to go through. As Rachel said, beware night. And night's coming really fast, so they're trying to get, like, this, like, pallet together and pull it, and they're, like, having to, like, lift it up over terrain, because it's, like, a fucking jungle, okay?
Yeah.
And then the poison ivy, they, on happenstance, discover that the vodka is the cure for the poison ivy. Yeah.
So it's kind of a double-edged sword. So if they waste too much vodka, they can't win. But if they don't use some of it, then they can't be cured and they are, like, out.
Yeah, kind of. It's like it's almost like 3rd-degree burns is kind of how I picture it. So they all agree, at least from Lyra's group, all agree like 1 bottle is for wounds. And the other group, you can kind of hear them behind their group, and they're just screaming, and they're like, did they not figure out the vodka situation?
Yeah, and this is when night fell, and
Yes.
then the plants start attacking.
Yes.
So it makes it worse.
Yeah.
So not only do you have poison ivy, you have plants that attack you and give you poison ivy and make you go into shock.
Yes, so basically too much poison ivy, you go in and anaphylactic shock. And Zai just happened to have an EpiPen because he's, like, highly allergic to fucking everything. He has allergies and needs an inhaler. Like, I don't know why he was chosen, honestly. I mean, I like the character, but, like...
Yeah, it doesn't explain why anybody was chosen.
No, it does not.
Not really even her, except for kind of the last one.
So, Lyra's like, I'll go, even though they want to kill her, she's like, I'll go, and she basically was like, goes to the other group and it's like, Dex, I can help, but like no fighting. And he's like, I guess. So she tells her about the vodka, or she tells them about the vodka.
Well, they first think she's stealing it, and then she shows them.
Yeah, which I think is hilarious. And so I think no one dies during this one.
This is when you know the virtues help, because heal. Like if one virtue wins, they get healed, because there's that one girl that's like covered in it and she's about to die.
Yeah.
And Lyra uses a freaking pomegranate seed.
Like I said, I told you, every time everyone's like, no. Yes. So Jackie actually ends up winning this one, and Jackie, it's not a name we've heard before, is Aphrodite's champion. No, yeah.
No.
Aphrodite's champion, yeah. No.
Yeah, Aphrodite. Okay.
I feel like I said that weird. But yeah, the Aphrodite's champion is Jackie. There we go. She actually ends up winning, and her reward is the unending cup of plenty. Pretty sure that's says what it is. And then, yeah, Lyra is forced to use one of her pomegranate seeds to save Micah, who is one of Dionysus' champion.
Which is, this is his
labor.
Name. Yeah.
Yeah,
they need to stop doing that.
Yeah, common theme here. Not really. I mean,
they're killing off their champions.
Yeah. So this is where Hades kind of gets in trouble for the loophole, because
Lyra was gonna die because of this. They were gonna take her out and kill her.
Yes. But Hades kind of stepped in her place, and I don't think she knew anything until the end. Like, closer to the end. She didn't really realize what.
So,
right?
He gets taken, and then Charon tells her this has happened before when she used the other relics.
Yes.
And he got his hands lashed by, I forget what it is.
It's something that can damage gods.
So it injures gods, and then if it happens to humans, then they injuries will not heal.
Yeah.
At all.
So it takes Hades a couple days to fully heal. I'm like, ugh. And this is kind of where we go into the next two labors. And they're together.
They're the twins, Apollo and Artemis.
So they tie in their labors. So Apollo's labor is each champion goes into a room.
And they have to figure out how to open the door.
Yeah, it's like a 15-minute window. And the puzzle is figure out how to get out. And of course Lyra's last for everything, because they've already figured out like the lineup, I guess. And since she was never a part of it in the original, she's just like last. You just go last. So I think,
and she has a problem with humming. So she can't control it. So when she's thinking, she starts to hum, and that's how the door opens.
So this leads into Artemis's labor, which after you get past the room, you have to it's like kind of like a flag football obstacle course with
that's how I pictured it too.
Yeah, where you get the little the little tags that you rip off. So the goal is to whoever has the most flags at the end of this obstacle course is the winner of her challenge. So Lyra wins. What's his name? Apollo's challenge. And she actually goes back to tell her allies and makes a deal with the other champions, basically saying, hey, if I tell you, then no fighting each other on the obstacle course. And they kind of all agree, and she basically says, make music of some sort, Not the harpy, though. The harpy bites you.
Heart bites, yeah.
Because Zai got bit. Because they were kind of like, what do you do? What do you do? So that I think this is like the second round through where she figures out.
I think it's like fourth. They go through 4 times.
Yeah, because Zai goes like over, like he checks the left side, and then one of the other ones checks the other side. Because those 3 are together. I can't remember who though. The German lady, which I don't even know. Anyways, I only know that because the audiobook she like talks in German.
I think it was Micah, wasn't it?
Is it Micah?
I think it's I think it's Micah because it's Dionysus' pick.
Okay. That's it. That makes more sense now. Never mind. Moving on. Not gonna.
It was either Micah or Trinica.
Yeah, I can't. Yeah,
I don't know which one it was.
Yeah. So I'm trying to think. We haven't missed anyone dying besides Isabel. Okay.
Isabel's the only one that's died so far.
Yes. Okay. So Artemis's labor. Each flag represents the 4 virtues, which we talked about a little bit. So strength, mind, heart, and courage. The twist with this fucking labor.
Yeah, this one's pretty bad too.
See, this is the one I picked, or what I would think would be the worst challenge.
Yeah, all of them are challenging. The poison ivy is just like a personal, like,
no, I totally get.
It makes me.
Yeah, no, this one just like this one. The thought of it, like, no, I can't handle. So basically, say each flag, obviously, it goes to a virtue. Well, during the obstacle course, whatever flag you lose kind of
that virtue.
Functionality of that virtue. So if you, like, for example, because I only remember this, the mind one. If the mind one's taken, then you're really confused. You have lucid moments, but it's far and few between. Same with like strength. Obviously, if you lose your strength one,
courage, you become
scared.
very fearful.
Yeah.
Heart.
We don't know the heart one because that's the only one that she survives with, so I don't know. Which I don't even know if that would work for her because she's unlovable, but, besides that. So, she has to wait until her turn. So everyone decides to go ahead. She came back out, and so basically the judges are like, but you came back out, so you have to wait your turn again. And of course, she's dead last. Her 2 allies are like, we'll wait on you. And she's like, no, like, get across. Like, I want you to try to win.
First.
Yeah. So she's like, no, go, Which I kind of agree with that situation.
Yeah.
So she obviously has to wait again to the last. And I want to say... whoever goes in before her, Diego was before her, so he was second to last, and he was still waiting on her to come out. And he's like, I want to play this with integrity, which I can respect.
Good for him.
Yes. One of the, so they kind of go through, and I think his is like, isn't his foreshadow? No, his is invisibility.
Yes.
But his gift was the halo of
he has knowledge, so like he can kind of think things over better.
Yeah. So he kind of uses that as like they're going through a dark tunnel. He kind of uses that as like a glow, like light. And this is where she loses courage. And so growing up in the Order of Thieves, she had to work through being fearful and all that. So she kind of just like got blinded. So she's kind of already had to work through fear. So it doesn't affect her, I wouldn't say as badly, but she still perseveres.
So she has a risky, like, profession, I guess, because she works with the thieves, so there's an element of fear and everything. Like, you're gonna get caught.
So yeah, she was like, so this is the first one to lose. I'm good. I can kind of work through it. And then it's like throughout the rest of the obstacle course, she loses all but her heart, and she's trying to help like one of the other champions get through it because they lost their mind. their mind flag. I said that, I was like, yeah, I should probably
And
track
their
that.
strength flag, I think.
Yeah, like, it was Jackie, wasn't it?
Or I think
I
it was
can't-
Nev.
Was it Nev?
Yeah.
Okay. And so this is one of my like favorite quotes. Okay. So she of course ends dead last. I don't know where Diego went because he's invisible, so he just went, you know. And so at the end,
It's whoever had the most flags
Yes.
wins.
and so she survives with just her heart flag, and
Oh, I know which quote.
I wrote it down. And so she loses all but her heart, and she presents that to Hades and says, I only have my heart left to give you. And he says he accepts it, and that's the only thing he needs. I was like, yeah!
See, this is why I think the curse didn't work on him. Because throughout this whole thing, he's kind of like...
flirty, and then he steps back, and he's like, gotta hold on, you know? Yeah, he's like very standoffish, but then not
Like,
'cause
you
he, like,
know he likes her.
Yeah, because they kiss, I want to say like 3 or 4 different times besides him giving her the gift.
Yeah.
Yes, sorry. That was my favorite. During Artemis's labor, Lyra gets burned by dragon. And this is where she gets, the only time that she gets
Healed.
out of
All of them.
yeah. So, this is where she's trying to, like, she feels like Hades is concerned for her, and she doesn't understand why, because she's cursed. We're just gonna
Well,
believe
he's
it.
like... He's gotta help her. Like,
Yeah.
he's like, he put her in this situation, and he's like, I gotta get her healed.
Yeah.
Like...
So, this leads into part 5, which is Trust Must Be Earned. And we're about 340 pages in now. Anyway, so after Artemis's challenge, he just holds on to her, and she's like, "Oh, I know where we're at now," you know, because she, like, obviously she lost her, like, mind and stuff, so she, you know, she made it out of the labor, and they're hugging each other, and Lyra's like, "Let me go." And he's like, "I don't care if they see." And so it just adds another layer of, like, oh, he likes her. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
What are you doing?
hi, buddy. He just wants to be a part of it.
Our third silent co-host.
Yes.
Super like Silica's under the table.
Yeah, no, he's just staring at me like, hey. So, the wounds on her arms do heal, but they leave scars. I guess that's because it's from a dragon? I don't know why.
I think it's just because it's so bad of
Okay.
a burn.
Okay. And then this is when Lyra asks to see Hades' wounds, which is the dagger of Orin is what he gets cut with. I don't know anything about it. Sorry.
I don't know too much about relics, so
And then this is where you see a little bit of she never knew her parents, and I'm gonna say they're 2 people. I don't think they're related.
I don't think they're her
I
parents
don't think
either.
they're her real parents.
I think they're just random people that they found.
Yes, that happened to have the same last name or whatever, and they talk about her sacrifice and paying off their debt for the family, yada yada. And she's like, Lyra's pissed because she's watching this on TV, and she's like, I don't even know who those fuckers are. Like, they're not even my parents. I don't know who these people. Like, she's like pissed, and like she is just like blowing up, and Hades is like, you want me to smite them for you?
Yeah, I love Hades because I can smite them for you.
Yeah. And she's like, no, because they're probably not even my parents, and whatever.
This is also where he goes, you can kind of choose your family. You don't have to
Yeah.
be with that person.
Yeah. And this is why she's like, oh, so is that what Persephone and Sharon, the ferryman and Cerberus is? And he basically was like, yeah. He's like, blood's not always thicker than water.
Yeah.
Right?
Basically,
Oh,
he
the way
said
around,
that if your blood is dragging you down, then they're not really your
Homeless.
yeah.
Which
Which he would know because
He
he
would
has like thousands of siblings and most of them are shitty.
yeah, and this is kind of where she kind of tells him, Hades, that, you know, I paid off their debt like literally years ago. I just didn't have anywhere else to go. So sad.
Yeah.
And then Hades actually does confirm that, you know, he was never really in love with Persephone, which is, you know, it's always great to hear from the, you know, horse's mouth. And then this kind of leads into Aphrodite's labor, which I don't really want to talk about. Yes.
So this is the boon part, and
Yeah. So,
okay, let's get into it.
yeah, Aphrodite's rescue the one you love the most from a dream. And if you don't rescue, I think you have until sundown. Is that right?
Sundown or sundown.
There's some kind of time frame. If you don't rescue your loved one by that time, you
They will die.
They will die. This is where we get yes.
The death of somebody's grandma.
Yes. So basically, you have to bring them back to Olympus before sundown. If they fail, they will die. If they succeed, the person that they love the most will help them with the next labor, which is, I'm not even going to try to pronounce his name. What's his name?
Hephaestus.
Yeah, his labor.
Kyle calls him hepatitis.
Yeah, I suppose. So it is said that it has to be immortal. Immortal.
So she goes, it's not Hades.
It's not Hades, yeah, because, you know, by now they're kind of like flirty as Hades could be, I guess, because he's uptight a little bit.
Well, he's also trying to hold back because he
Yes.
doesn't want her to know.
Yes.
But yeah, he freaks out every time she's hurt.
I know, it's just cinnamon roll. Okay, he's a cinnamon roll. So obviously, no surprise, it's Boone. And he actually had a cabin, Woods. Do you know anything about? Doesn't matter. Okay, I didn't know if it had to do with mythology or not. So he actually already paid off his debt as well, and just wanted to be like a master. Once you can become a master thief and take on other apprentices, but you have to have cleared your debt, from my understanding.
Yeah, I believe that's
Okay. And he's paid off his debt, but he didn't really let anyone know, and he doesn't want to become like a master thief yet. So he's kind of like doing it because he's really good at thieving. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with
He's a little butthole though too. Okay, so she goes in there and she goes, okay, this is gonna be awkward. This is gonna be
it was so awkward to read.
And she goes, at first she just says, I love you. And then it doesn't work, obviously. And then he tells her, well, I don't love you.
But thanks.
And then she goes, well, that's not true. I don't love you. I love you as a friend, pretty much.
Yeah, basically, like, I have a crush on you, but I don't really love you. And then he vanishes, and she's like, oh my god, I killed him.
Yeah. Because the sun was going down,
Yeah.
and she's like, oh no, I killed him.
Oh, yeah, because so she has, like, a mini freak out.
And then there's spiders in the woods, too.
Yeah.
This is the first incident of spiders.
Her tarantula smooths it over for them to let them pass into the woods, but I don't know why they decided to I don't know. But so basically the Pegasus that led her to Boone kind of like flies them to Olympus. And so Lyra kind of was like, okay, explains everything about what's happened, the labors, everyone wants her dead kind of thing. And he's like, okay, all right, got it. Then they return to Hades' house. And so basically Boone's just like, hey, you're the dick that put her in this situation. Cool, you're a dick.
Yep.
And, which, you know, he's only doing it because he cares for Lyra, but not...
As a friend, not as a lover.
Yes. Thank you. And, kind of has to, like, face off with Zeus, or Hades. I want Zeus to die. This is what it comes down to.
Zeus can't die. He is a god.
I mean, can we at least get fucked up a little bit?
I mean, yeah.
Okay. So, this is afterwards, right? After the, okay.
Yeah.
So, Boone kind of just, like, goes off to Olympus, and Lyra kind of just wants to, like, chill. I think I would be mentally chilling.
Yes.
And so, Boone comes back, he's like, hey, guess what I got?
This is after their, like, party thing where they introduce all the loved
Yes,
ones
I'm
and
sorry.
stuff.
Yeah, Zeus threw, like, a party and wanted everyone to introduce. And this is what I don't like. Hades is kind of, like, ignoring Lyra and Boone altogether, and...
Well, he's kind of upset because, well...
He's jealous.
He's jealous.
It
is what it is.
But he's doing a terrible job of not being a butthole. So he's actually talking to, I think, Nev's sister this entire party. And so she's just kind of like, okay, I'm going to go home now. You know? And then Boone kind of goes off and does his own thing. And then he comes back and he's like, hey, I took something. You want to go explore?
He also kisses her at this point. And listen, I was walking on the track and listening. And when this happened, I audibly went, no. This is not happening.
Yes. He got, whose is it?
It's Dex's.
Dex's, like, helm of
invisibility.
Okay, there's more than one. Oh, yeah. And so he puts it on, and then he kisses her, and she's like, I wish I could see his face. But yeah, I think he wanted to see if there was something there. Like, you know, like, attraction or something.
Yeah.
Or maybe just because he knows, because she told him about the curse. So I think he was just like, I think there was a lot of things going on in his head, but we don't know because you only have her point of view.
Also, Boone is a little arrogant. Like, he thinks he's, like, the best at everything.
Yeah, he's kind of, yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
So...
It's gonna bite him in the ass later.
So, Boone and Lyra, as long as you're touching, they're, like, holding hands or whatever, she's also invisible as well. So they decide to go be mischievous. And they stumble across the gods having a meeting. And they're trying to bully Hephaestus into giving hints about his labor, which is the next labor. And because they're all just like, we don't want Hades to win, and he's standing right there, which is kind of shitty. But Hades could feel her, and so he, like, wrapped up the meeting and looked straight out the window at her, and he's like, oh, fuck. They're like, we gotta go.
We got caught.
Yes. And it's found out later he could feel his mark on her. That's the only reason he knew that she was there.
Or their fated mates.
Or that. I'm going with the book logic for the moment. And, so this is kind of where Boone and Hades kind of get into it. Obviously not physically, because you die. But verbally, and you see where Hades is more jealous, and he, like, throws up, like, pulls them apart, throws up this fire, and, kisses. I mean, they passionately kiss a couple times, and, then it kind of, like, lowers, and Hades is showing off that he's, like, kissing her, and this is where Lyra fucking gets pissed. She's like, oh, hell no, you're gonna kiss me because you want to kiss me, no, like, she just, like, straight out attitude, like, no, I ain't doing this. Which I kind of agree with. Like,
Yeah.
I understand her point of view, and she's like, I want you to kiss me because you want to kiss me, not because you're trying to make an ass out of yourself, or, you know, rub it into Boone's face that, you know, we're kissing or whatever.
Yeah. And it, like, throughout this whole book, he's kind of been like, you're mine. And that's kind of what he was showing, like, that she's his, but she's like, no, I'm your champion, nothing else.
Yeah. Because they both know that they can't have a relationship, or if they did, it's very limited, because obviously he's a god and she's immortal.
Yeah.
And so this puts us into what's his name's labor.
Hephaestus.
Yes. Sorry. He's like the coolest god, I feel like.
So Hephaestus is the ugliest god. He's married to Aphrodite.
I didn't realize that.
She cheats on him a lot, but that's beside the point. But he also builds. He's like a tinker.
Yeah.
So he made Zeus's lightning bolts. He's made a bunch of the relics. Like, that's what he does.
Yeah, that's his expertise. So his challenge is you must go into a tower and fight his animatronics. Like, trials. I think there's, what, 4? Seven of them.
She only gets through, like...
She only does two levels. Which I suppose we can just, well, hold. There's no deaths with this one. Hephaestus is like, you know, if you don't get through it, you don't die, is the stipulation.
And your loved ones can come with you if you choose.
Yes. I just don't see any downfall if there's no, like, because it was said that there was no, like, death and, like, no repercussions if you don't finish the tower like every other one.
But all of the robots is what I want to call them, but they're not robots.
I mean, they're robots.
Can kill you.
Yes. I should, yeah.
So if you die during the thing, you die.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't remember that part, I guess. So, obviously, every champion kind of goes through, like one of the champions, his, like, little brother. Like, obviously, no. Like, there's no point. So some choose yes, some choose no. And Lear tries to talk Boone out of going with her, and he was like, no, we're going. I always said I wanted to work with you.
Like, this is where his arrogance pisses me off, besides the kiss.
Yes. So they go through the first 2 levels. They tie up the one.
And then one's a chess game.
Chess game, which they're really good at, because that's the only game at the Order of Thieves did, kind of thing, because obviously strategy, there's just a lot with chess. And so after they walk up the second stairs, Boone kind of leans out and he's like, you know, he did say just the top of the tower. So they decide to scale
climb up. Yeah.
And he's like, hey, don't hum. Well, they passed through a window, and the humming alerted, what, 4th or 5th? Well, I don't know. It's kind of a little bit up there, but not all the way to the top. And it decides to try to get Lyra, and this is where Boone saves her, but then gets knocked off the tower and
Dies.
Landed on some spikes and dies. And this one got me really hard. Yeah.
But she makes it up the tower.
Yes. And
she completes it. But she has also been injured really bad.
Yes. Yeah. So Haiti kind of takes her to the underworld, and then she realizes that Boone is actually dead, and she, like, goes through all, like, the grief process, and this leads into part 6, which is called Dead Loss. She's like guilt ridden, like, I mean, obviously, you know, she didn't want him to go through the labor with her, and he saved her, and then she still got devastatingly injured, like hole in
through her side,
it went through and through, and so she wants to see him, and Hades is like, no, it confuses the spirit. And so then they both realize, like, oh shit, she's like actually really injured. And throughout this whole like part, you get in and out because she's going obviously in and out of consciousness. And so Hades is freaking the fuck out, trying to save her as much as he can. Like, gives her blood and throws some water off the river Styx on her. So she has to have his blood in order to, like, survive, basically.
But it does heal her.
Yeah, it does.
But it takes 2 weeks, and 3 or 4 labors have happened in that time.
Yes. Yeah. So we'll skip through. So Nev is the only one that's dead, that died during her being under. So you have Demeter's labor, Hera's labor, and Ares' labor while she's out. So there's 3, and there's only 2 left. Right?
Yes.
Yeah. Or at least that's what I remember from the
And
book.
Samuel was injured.
Samuel lost a hand, correct?
Yes.
Yeah, one of his hands. Do we care who won the challenges? Or I guess it comes down to Diego is in lead.
Yes, he's got 3 points.
He has 3 points. And if she wins the last 2, she'll at least tie. And so Hades basically says, you know, if you win, we can save Boone. You can, you know, request him to be a god.
And bring him back.
Basically. Because the king of whoever, so basically he's saying, if you win, I will, you know, lift your curse and also make him a god, so he comes back. And she's like, okay, I gotta win.
I think this is where she finds out about Persephone being trapped, though, too.
I think it's a little bit, no, it's a little bit later. It's after Athena's, because remember, she like tells Athena, you're a monster!
Yeah.
And then gets locked up, and then that's when she finds out about Persephone.
Okay.
So, yeah, as it stands, Diego's in the lead with 3. So she's healing, and she's like, Hades, I have a plan. Get all the champions down here. I want to try to make a deal with them, basically. Mm-hmm. And so that's kind of where she's like, tells them, you know, this is why I want to win. This is what, you know, give me your answer tomorrow or whatever, before the next labor. Right?
Yes.
Yeah.
The deal is, if they let her win for Hades, Hades will bring back their lost loved ones,
mm-hmm.
if they want to be brought back.
Yeah, because he can't force anyone to be brought back. And then they leave, and this is the one and only sex scene. She's just like, finally, like, I think I deserve this, you know, like, fight for her life or whatnot. So she kind of like, and since she's never been loved before, she's never really had sex, or, you know, Hades was her first kiss. So she's just like, courage out of nowhere, like, takes off her clothes and like skinny dips, and she's like, you want to join me? And she kind of gets devastated because he doesn't at first, and then he, like, you know, we can't, you know, it's limited what we can have, and she's like, I want this, and like 3 chapters full of full of that. So skip ahead if it's not for you, but why would it not be? No, anyways. Some people just don't really like their books to have smut. It's fine.
I just want to say, in defense of smut, because a lot of people get shit for reading fantasy that has sex scenes in it. This is a 645-page book.
Mm-hmm.
If you call this smut or porn, it's not. It's definitely not. There's one scene.
Yeah, no, there's only one scene.
The same for Court of Thorns and Roses. There's like one implied thing. but I see it all the time.
Right, that is just smut.
That it's just like porn. Like, girls are reading porn at this point. A 600-page book with that one scene is not porn.
Yeah, it's a very slow burn. But yes, I understand. Yeah, no, I get what you're saying. It is very frowned upon. I don't understand. It's a double-edged sword because, you know, men can just watch porn. Whatever. That's not weird. Women read porn. Oh, God. It's the end of the world.
I'm just saying, if it's less than 5% of a whole book,
yeah,
it is not just reading porn.
No. I mean, there are books that are just smut, but you kind of know that going in.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, sorry, you just do. Like I said, I like both. If it didn't have a sex scene, it wouldn't have bothered me. You know what I mean? Like, if it was taken out, whatever. I feel like you would have missed a lot of their connections. But it wouldn't have been the end of the world if there wasn't.
I felt like it was going there, but also this book has so much other stuff in there.
It was, I wasn't expecting anything. I was like, oh, it's going to be a slow burn. Nothing's going to happen, you know? And I was pleasantly surprised. Yeah. So I was okay with that. So then this bleeds into part 7, which is My Only Hope.
Help me, Obi-Wan. You're my only hope.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No biggie. So obviously the morning after, Hades is like cold and passive and indifferent, could care less. Which hurts my heart.
I get what you
get
it,
why.
Especially at the end when he...
But still, it hurts my heart.
Yeah.
So basically, Rima is the only one that comes, and she's Apollo's champion, and basically said no. And then it lets her on a tad bit fact that her relic lets her see prophecies, but she cannot control the prophecies.
Yeah. The only one she's seeing is Hades, like, destroying the world, pretty much.
Yes. She sees a future where Hades is as king of gods, burns the whole world, and no one can stop him. Which we're like, huh? That doesn't sound like the Hades we know.
No.
Oh, okay. Okay, moving on. Let's finish it so we can get this done. Okay. So the next, the last 2 labors are Athena and Zeus's. Athena's is this big glass maze in the Colosseum that all other gods and goddesses of every religion is there, kind of.
So what it is
stand in the Colosseum, like
in the Colosseum,
this Colosseum thing. The Colosseum.
They have like gods there, but our Greek gods that we know are also known by different names, like
that's
Dionysus
right.
is Bacchus.
Yes.
Hades is Pluto.
Yes.
Mars is Ares, so on and so forth.
I can only remember the one name.
That's how we get the names of the planets, because they're Roman gods.
I gotcha. I feel so...
Except for Earth, I think. I don't know where they got Earth. But everything else is...
I gotcha. You make me feel dumb sometimes. Anyways.
I just know too much about Greek and Roman mythology.
I want to say I know a lot about Nordic, but I don't. I find it the most interesting, but that's beside the point. So this is why Lyra calls her a monster, okay? And I agree with Lyra. So basically, everyone that has died so far, it's all illusion, but still. She puts everyone's head on a spike. And
yep.
I just have no words. And that includes one of the grandmother of, what is it, Deck? No. Kim something.
D.
Yeah, it's Kim Day.
Kim Day, that's what it is.
Which is Artemis's ever first male champion, because, you know, she's all about women power and whatnot.
Artemis is the goddess of the moon and the hunt, and she is the only virgin god, so she has a bunch of female followers.
I gotcha. I didn't understand where that came in. I was like, she's not the god of love. I know that for sure. But anyways, yes. So this is where like Lyra calls her like a monster like multiple times, and
I mean, she deserves it.
yeah, and she's kind of pissed about it too. So,
but this is also where Dax is being weird.
yes, which kind of is a little bit foreshadowing if you read in the book. I guess we can just come out and say he's been tricked. I forget the word.
He's kind of been glamored.
Glamour, thank you. I was like, there's something, yes. But we don't know that until the end of this labor. So basically, Athena's like, takes some like tiny little creatures and blows them up. So like, bullet ants are like the size of small dogs. Spiders, which are more
Spiders.
of course. I forget what else.
I'm surprised there's not worms in this. Like,
I mean, they could get sandworms. That would be terrifying, like the sandworm from Dune. Like,
listen,
no.
fantasy either has spiders or you're getting a worm. You're getting a big worm.
We got spiders a lot in this one. But I don't remember what else. I know it was spiders and the ants, but I don't remember what else.
Wasp for one of them,
Yeah.
and then something else. I don't remember the last one.
So this is where Lyra kind of uses all her like tattoo animals to like help her like figure shit out, where to go, which way to go, you know. And she helps one of the other champions because they're like underneath her, so like you have to like start at the bottom all the way to the top, which I don't know how many layers.
I have no idea, but there's glass everywhere.
Yeah,
the
so
Colosseum's like crumbling because it's the Roman Colosseum.
Yeah. So she helps, I think it's Trinica, and asks for direction. She helps her. And then the Panther kind of kills one of the whatever, and Kim Day like offers her something if she lets him pass. Which that's not like she wasn't gonna kill him anyways, but and I forget what the petal does. It's a petal.
It helps heal her because she got stung by that bullet ant.
Yeah. And then, like, almost through, she encounters the invisible Dex, and he tries to, obviously, kill her. She kind of, like, fights him off, and he runs off. And this is where she knows she's close to the end, because he is out there with the winner of the maze, which is Micah. And, after he wins, Dex comes up and just starts choking her because he's glamored and doesn't know what the fuck he's doing. Then Lyra kind of runs out, which shows you how close she was to finishing it, which is very frustrating, you know, because she's trying to win at this point. So she tries to get Dex off, and I think Zai also comes, and they end up getting him off, but Zai accidentally
kills him.
Yeah.
So we have two more champion deaths. Micah and
Dex. And this is where Sharon, yeah, I'm like, I know I'm not saying that right.
I feel like I don't say it right half the time either, so
the ferryman comes, not Hades, that's important, comes and kind of gets her, and because she's upset about Micah because she was one of her allies. And
he drops her off.
In the
underworld.
And then they kind of go somewhere together, and he's just like, you know, follows her out of concern, and he kind of lets it slip about Persephone that she's not really dead. So this is kind of where we find out, I think, yes.
Yeah, that she's trapped in Tartarus with the Titans, and that why Hades wants to be king of gods is to get her out.
Yes.
So, and then the daemons come and snatch her up because
Hades thinks it's because the champion died to weird circumstances, and they're like, no, we're just gonna keep her because the young ones are fucking dead.
Yeah.
And,
Meanwhile, she has a mini vacation in their prison.
yeah, which is kind of sad because she's like stays there 3 days and she's like, it's the safest I've ever been. Oh my fucking god! Like, that's just sad to like hear.
Yeah. And she tries to make a deal with Demeter to let her know that Persephone is
trapped,
and that if Demeter's champion wins, then they'll help get her out because I think it's Diego is her champion.
Yes, Diego. Which is
the one that's in the lead.
Yeah, he's a solid enough guy.
So she knows at this point that she can't win, so there's kind of no point in doing Zeus's labor.
Yeah.
But she has to do it anyways.
Yeah, you can't just not do it.
Yeah. And then this leads into Zeus's time. Aphrodite shows up. She tells her that she's not going to tell Demeter about...
Yeah, that Demeter's not coming because fuck Hades. Because obviously she doesn't like Hades because the Persephone thing, which in this version, this book, I don't know their like backstory. You know what I mean? Like you find out that Persephone isn't his lover, but you don't really
Demeter
know.
doesn't like Hades because Demeter is Persephone's mom.
Yeah.
And he stole Persephone.
Yeah, but like I just don't like, I don't know if that's like true in this
In the book, yeah.
Yeah, so I'm not sure exactly what her hang-up is. I don't know. But she does not like Hades, and we're going with that. Yep. And then this leads into
The last labor.
the last part.
So,
Part 8.
For Zeus's labor, he's like, okay, you got to get through these 3 gates, and the first person that gets through these gates wins. This is a foot race. Go.
Yes.
He doesn't tell them anything else, pretty much.
Yeah. You need to escape the monsters, and you don't know what monster is in each one. He does throw a little twist in there because obviously his champion Samuel, I think only has 1 win.
Yeah.
So he throws in there, if you win this, you get 3 marks or whatever, and that means it's anyone's game.
And the daemons and the gods are not there to watch this one.
Yes, because Zeus was interfering with the rules because he made an addition to, like, if you win this, you get 3 extra points. And they would have been like, nah, bitch. So that's why they're not there. And then, so
on top of other things.
Yes, on top of some other things, but that's the main reason. That's all. Yeah.
And our first monster is the Minotaur, which I'm surprised was not in the maze in the Roman Colosseum, because that's where
that makes sense, yeah.
he is normally.
Right, yeah. But this is like I want to say like a Titan version of it, though. You know what I mean? Because it's a little taller.
They're still very, very large.
Very large, okay. So they had to fight them, and then they all get through. They're kind of working together. Yeah, she uses the last of the bones. And Samuel says, "Hey, Lyra, I found your axe. I don't know how I got it. Here you are." And she's like, "I already have mine." So now she has both axes, Odin's axes, which is kind of important with the Minotaur, because they found out that all the champions have to be through the gate for it to shut. So they want it to be shut, so the Minotaur just doesn't fucking follow them through, and whatever other monsters are there.
Yes.
So they realize they kind of have to work together, very loosely. So they all kind of like go through and close the gate. The first gate's closed. Everyone survived.
But if you put the axes together, they form a shield.
Yes.
Which I think is why we have Nordic ruins on the book.
It's a Visvisir. Sorry. I only know that because I have a tattoo of it. So moving on. And so yes, the Minotaur kind of comes after her, and she just like, that's the only thing she can do, and then realizes it acts like a shield, and he kind of just like stumbles back, and he's like, ah. So that's why there's a matching pair, because they work both. Yeah. Anyways. And so they close it. The the next monster is a kraken.
Yep,
Or-
the Kraken.
Like, yeah, okay.
Which is usually in the sea, and this is in the middle of the desert.
Yes.
So,
Death Valley.
tentacle monsters in the middle of the desert.
Yeah, I didn't really understand that choice, but
I think they just needed another big Greek
monster.
monster. And the Minotaur, I knew was probably going to show up
Mhm.
if you're having trials.
Yeah,
the
no,
Minotaur's
I knew
gonna
that
show.
was going to show, but yeah, the Kraken kind of threw me. And so the rest of the bone soldiers kind of helped defend against the Kraken. And I think they're trying to get to this second gate. Jackie kind of saves Lyra. They all get through the gate, close it.
And then the last one's complete darkness. And I knew this one was
I knew-
sirens.
I didn't know until the end, but I was like, I know there has to be something about with her curse.
So I was like, okay, well, what other monster will we have? Well, we have sirens.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought the darkness was to get over the fact that in Greek mythology, you don't really know what a siren looks like because of everybody that's encountered a siren has died. So sometimes they have wings, sometimes they're more like mermaids.
Yeah, it's whatever appeals to the person.
Yeah.
Person. Yeah, I gotcha.
So, and obviously, if you hear a siren, they will put you under a spell and they'll take you and
Yes.
kill you.
So
Then sirens done loved him up.
So there are 3 champions, I think. There are three of them that aren't affected for whatever relic. The other ones are and go willingly with the sirens. So they like just pluck them up and there they go. And Lyra's just like,
Because they can't see her.
yeah, because she's unloved. Look how fucked up is that? Like, okay, I need to get. So, of course, Lyra gets to the third gate, and she's like,
This is where her choice comes in.
yes. She's like, do I just go and win? But that's not who she is. So she decides to use the pomegranate seeds to grab all the people from the island of sirens. And they're like, some are like,
Enchanted and some of them aren't.
yeah. So the ones that are enchanted are just in a pile in the middle of all of these sirens, just arguing of who to eat first.
Yeah.
Like, or so basically, I don't think they eat them. They just keep them there because they want to be loved. Because sirens, that's all they want to do. They want to be loved, and they're not. They can't. Their island are not meant for humans, so they end up dying. That's why they steal people. So she gets everyone out, by the pomegranate seeds. And she's like, run, go, because they can still come for them. And they're all like, no, you get to pass through the gates. Because they know, you know what I mean? Like, so they let her pass through it. And I don't think I'm missing anything else regarding that. Is that correct?
Yes. Except for when she passes through the great gate, the labor is not over.
Yeah.
But Hades is there, doesn't he? No, he doesn't
He's
show
not
up
there
just
yet.
yet.
Mm-mm.
They get there and Cerberus, our sweet baby, is put under a spell, and he is being what you think Cerberus is where
Yeah, yeah.
he's like vicious and
Yeah.
he's going to attack them, but he doesn't want to attack them.
Yes. So some of the
This part got me. I was
Ugh.
like, not Cerberus, not my sweet bean.
I knew he would live, so I was not worried. So basically, some of the bone, I think only one of the bone soldiers are still alive. And so he, retaliates and, I want to say it's
He
like a
stabs him.
life-threatening, like, stab.
Yeah.
And she's like, wait, don't! And then that throws Cerberus out of his trance. And he's like, I didn't want to hurt you. And I'm like, oh.
I know, and he's hurt and he's laying on the ground and he's dying and I'm like, no, I can't handle puppy death.
Yes.
I cannot.
So, in between Cerberus and Lyra is like kind of close to him. She's trying to get closer to him. Zeus finally realizes, he's like, I know who you are. I cursed you, didn't I? And because he didn't know this entire time, or he forgotten, you know, because they're gods and they don't care.
They curse everybody.
They curse everyone and just, woo, I'm done over it. So with her last, she only had the 6 pomegranate seeds. This is her last one. She throws it in Cerberus's mouth and tells him to go home.
To think of sticks.
Because that's the only thing that will,
My
So
sweet bean.
So we know he's alive. Because he can't die. He just can't die. And Ash, she's like dying because Zeus is a dick and like trying to kill her.
Yeah.
Actually, I think
This is when Hades shows up and he's...
Yeah, Hades shows up, but before that, Lyra kind of realizes why Hades chose her, because he had an insight of what the last
thing was going
to be, and knew that she would be okay in that. And that's why he distanced himself.
So she can make the choice.
Anyways, love him but hate him, okay? So Hades and Zeus kind of face off, and it is no competition. Hades is 100% could kill Zeus if he wanted to.
Also, this is where it comes out that Zeus was manipulating the game
The entire time.
Yeah. So
Every other one too, let's be real. Because he always won, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And this is where I want to say, yes, he Zeus is taken off is taken away by the daemons, and Hades is holding Lyra, and she's dying, let's be real, she's dying, and she's like, so, did you do that because you knew, kind of thing, and, as she's, slipping into death, she's like, don't burn the world down, because of Rima's, premonition. And then she wakes up, in a couple seconds, wakes up, and basically Hades has given her his god powers.
So he's made her into a god.
Yes.
So she is goddess of the underworld now.
Yes. But he lost his power to the underworld. But right? He
kind
lost,
of, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, there's king and queen of the underworld.
Yeah, he's sacrificed his own essence and role to make her a goddess.
Yeah.
And then he confesses to her that what he sees in Elysium is them together.
Yeah. And I had a feeling that's what it was.
Yeah.
When he couldn't tell her.
Yeah. So, okay. So basically, the next thing is the crowning ceremony where all of them come back, and I don't think anyone dies during the other labor, correct?
No. Everybody survives
Everyone
this one.
else, yeah. The daemons decide Hades wins, and to claim his power, he takes the throne, and each of the core goddess and goddesses, have to submit to him, basically, and he makes Boone comes back, kind of as the god of thieves. Hermie kind of some of his power gets taken or something. I'm not 100% sure, but Hermes is pissed. And then he offers gifts to the other champions and stuff, to show that he was gonna uphold his end of the bargain that Lyra gave them, basically. He offered them the gifts, the abundance to their family and homelands, everything that the normal champion would win. He gave it to everyone that survived,
including the ones that died.
Yes. And then he says for his gift is Pandora's box, and that's the end of the book, technically. There's an epilogue.
Which, if you don't read an epilogue to the book, did you even finish it?
Yes, 100%, because you want to read this, okay? You definitely want to read this, otherwise you will not understand my dismay on this. So basically, everything's set up. Lyra wants to help, and Hades is trying to talk her out of it, basically. But they're trying to save Persephone. And so, outside the gates of Tartarus, thank you. I was like, okay. Hades, Lyra, Charon, Ferryman, Demeter, because it's Persephone's mom, Boone, and Cerberus are outside. And the Pandora's box isn't what opens, it's the
gate. So Pandora's box is acting like a back door to Tartarus.
Yes.
So
it lost me on the mythology on that, sorry.
So they can get Persephone out, but not unlock the Titans.
Yes. So they open it. It opens like a tiny bit, and cliffhanger of the century. Lyra
gets sucked in, and she sees Kronos, and I think Boone gets sucked in too.
Boone does as well, and Kronos is basically a older version of Hades.
Yeah, because it's Hades' dad.
Okay, yeah, that would make sense. And that's the end of the book.
Yep. And the next one doesn't come out till September.
September.
It's 2 months away.
It is 2 months too long. This is why I don't like reading books that don't have sequels out yet. My number one. Anyways.
Well, to be fair, I didn't know this was a cliffhanger. I just knew it had games and trials, which it did.
Yeah, it matched our theme. It matched our theme pretty damn well. Yeah. That's all I got. I guess we kind of can go over how Lyra got her curse. Because we didn't go over that. We didn't even state that. So she got cursed because her mom and dad made a homage or whatever to Zeus's temple, and she was pregnant with Lyra at the time, and she decided to go into labor and mess up his temple, and that's how she got cursed.
That sounds about right.
Yeah. So yeah, was there anything else that you wanted to talk about?
I don't think so. I just want the second book.
Yes, me too. I kind of went over some of my talking points already. It's a very unique book because I've never seen a book that incorporates all kind of religion, which I thought was pretty interesting.
Yeah.
I liked that. I liked that it wasn't just about Greek.
Yeah. Well, they did Western pretty much because they didn't do Hinduism or
that's true.
Chinese mythology. I don't know what theirs is actually called.
Yeah. Nope. Sorry. So you want to just go into the ratings?
Yeah.
Okay. What was your rating?
My rating is 5 stars.
Okay.
Why? It was a good time. It was fun.
Okay.
Loved it. 5 out of 5.
Okay.
Would recommend.
I've already recommended it to 2 people at work. So my rating was also 5. This is my first 5 for the podcast. So I was pretty happy.
So this was a good one, even if it was long.
Yeah, I mean, it was long, and I felt I didn't think that all of it was going to happen in the first book. I thought for sure there ain't no way they can get that many trials, especially how long it was taking in between some of them. And then there's 3 in there while she's unconscious. I'm like, that makes sense.
I thought they were gonna stop mid-trial where she's in danger. I thought it was gonna cliffhanger like that.
Yeah, no, 100%. I mean, it does cliffhanger. Just not the way we wanted. But yes, it had everything. It ticked every box. Whatever imaginary box, I was like, yep, 5 stars. It was a good time. I read this probably pretty damn quickly. 3 days and I was done. Which
I read it 3 days, probably. Yeah, 3 days, because Saturday and Sunday I didn't read it.
Yeah. I couldn't put it down. Like, I just like, I need to finish this.
I knew from the beginning that I was like, okay, I'm gonna like this book.
Yeah, I knew, maybe like part 2 or 3, I was like, oh, this is good. This is really good. So what was your magic rating?
I think it's gonna get a 5, because we had all the magical creatures. There's magic systems. There's relics that did different things.
Okay.
It was 5.
I gave it a 4, just because it was non-traditional magic. Like, obviously the relics, they do other stuff, so there's, like, magic in the universe, obviously because there's gods and stuff, but, there wasn't any, like, Harry Potter, spells, stuff like that. That's why I just gave it a 4. So,
I mean, technically there was no wands, but all the gods had different
yeah, like, they
abilities.
could, like, transport, yeah. I don't know, I gave it a 4.
Okay, it's fine.
I felt like more magic could have been there. I don't know.
We could have a worm in there.
yeah, we didn't have the worm. Yeah, we didn't have the worm. I'm just so upset about the worm.
Yeah, spiders but no worms. 4
Two
stars.
spiders too. Like, come on. No, I'm just kidding. So yeah. Do you want to go over? We're just gonna go over our next book, or the last book of July, and then we're having our special episode, and then we'll talk about our August books in that episode.
So our next pick is our sci-fi pick, and we're gonna do Red Rising by Pierce Brown,
Which is also our sci-fi pick, right?
Yes.
And
It also has like 5 books.
7.
Yeah.
I guess it's close to 5. Whatever. So anyways, hope you liked the episode. Sorry we talked your ear off. There was just so much in this book and so much I wanted to talk about, so you're welcome.
Well, it's our first. Both of us have first 5 stars.
Yes.
I think this is our first 5-star book. I think
you did another 5-star book, but I'd have to look at my spreadsheet.
Oh, Lifelike is my other
Yeah.
5-star book.
Yeah, which is also another good one, so. Because that was sci-fi. That was a sci-fi
Yep.
pick. So that's his fantasy.
First fantasy,
Yes.
5-star.
Yes.
Still waiting on romance and...
We're getting there. We'll find there.
Well, Madison Kate was 5 stars,
Yes.
but that was a special episode.
Yes. Yeah, I didn't put that on the thing, yeah. So, alright, well, we'll see you next time.
Right. Yep.
See you next time.
Bye.
Bye.